Hello, welcome to episode 2, season 1 of Consultancy Unlocked. As promised from the last episode, we will be speaking in this episode about how to read a terms of reference like an evaluation panel. Now, if you have ever applied for any type of consultancy role, a contract or project opportunity, you probably would have come across a terms of reference. Many professionals think that their proposals fail because of weak experience or pricing, but in reality, many proposals fail before they're even properly evaluated. I'll explain exactly why later in this video. Most people read the terms of reference like they are an applicant, but it is important to understand that evaluation panels, they read the terms of reference differently. Okay, the evaluation panel is not asking, is this interesting? They are asking, does the proposal meet exactly what we are looking for? So in this video, I will show you how to read the terms of reference the way how evaluation panels read them, so you can understand what really matters before you submit any proposal. So you're going to start with a purpose. The first thing evaluation panels look for is the core purpose of the assignment. This usually come in the section that looks at the background, the objective, the purpose of the consultancy, and the overall goal. The panel, they want to know what problem is the assignment trying to solve, right? When reading terms of reference like an evaluator, ask yourself, what is the main issue? What outcomes does the organization want? What will success look like? If the proposal doesn't clearly address the core purpose, it usually scores very low. So the panels are not looking for creativity here. They are looking for the alignment. So the proposal must firmly and strongly align to the terms of reference. Now, the next thing you would want to do is to pay attention to the deliverables. The deliverables section is where evaluation panels spend a lot of time. Deliverables answer one key question: what exactly should be produced at the end of the assignment? For example, deliverable could be reports, studies, training sessions, systems or tools, strategies, or action plan. So it varies based on what the consultancy is really about. When panel members review proposals, they check, did the applicant address each deliverable? Did they answer or understand what needs to be produced? Is the proposed approach realistic? A strong proposal clearly explains how every deliverable will be completed. So we are looking at the background and all of that. We're looking at the deliverables. The next thing you would really want to focus on is the scope of work. And this is where it can become a bit, I would say, tricky. So the scope of work explains what activities are expected. This section usually includes things like the research, stakeholder consultation, analysis, design, implementation, and reporting. So the evaluation panel reads this carefully because it shows the level of effort required. They ask questions like, does this proposal reflect the actual workload? Does the approach covers all the tasks? Are any important steps missing? If a proposal ignores key activities listed in the terms of reference, the proposal loses points quickly. All right, so you have to pay attention to what exactly the terms of reference is asking you to do. Now, there is a key element that I personally focus on when I'm putting together any type of proposal, and this is the evaluation criteria. So many terms of reference include evaluation criteria or scoring categories. This is one of the most important sections because for me, what this section does, it tells me already where I stand in terms of competitiveness. this typical this the typical scoring categories would include things like your technical approach, relevant experience, methodology, qualifications of you or your team, and the cost or financial proposals. Importantly, the scoring tends to separate the technical from the financial proposal. So in most cases, what you will find is that the technical proposal weighs around 70% of the overall score, and the financial proposal will take on, like, say, 30%. Now, you can already see that the technical proposal is the heavyweight. If you have a solid technical proposal but your financials a bit off, there may be some leeway. You may be able to get through with that consultancy. You may be able to negotiate, because if you really have a strong technical proposal, then that is what really matters. Save and accept that your budget is out of whack, right? So this means that applicants should always read this section carefully, because it tells you exactly how proposals will be judged, right? So if something is worth 30% of the score, the panel will pay close attention to it. So don't ignore the financial if it's approximately 30% thereabout. I've never come across a proposal or terms of reference that has a 50-50 weight in terms of technical and financial proposal. Now, the next thing I want you to understand is the timeline and budget expectations. So the panel also review whether the proposal matches the timelines and resources described in the terms of reference. They will ask questions such as, is the timeline realistic? Does the proposal fit within the expected duration? Are the activities realistic and feasible within the time frame? If the proposal suggests work that clearly cannot be completed in the given time, it raises concerns. Panels look for proposals that are practical and achievable. Now, the next thing they look for are stuff like compliance requirements. Another thing evaluation panel check is compliance. What does that mean? Did the applicant follow the instruction? Have you submitted the required documents? Have you followed the formatting instructions? Did you submit the proposal within the deadline period? Do you have the required experience? Is the proposal structured? And structured means a lot of things. Is your proposal free of grammatical errors? Formatting, be careful with the copy and pasting and different fonts and font styles and font size and all of these things. You have to be careful to ensure that your proposal is uniformed and it is responding to what the terms of reference is asking you to do. And then the final advice is that when reading a terms of reference like an evaluation panel, you have to focus on a few things as mentioned before: the purpose of the assignment, the expected deliverables. You need to focus on the scope of work, the evaluation criteria, timeline, and compliance requirement. If you can do all of these things clearly, you will understand how proposals are evaluated, and that insight can make a huge difference in preparing stronger submissions, right? So if you found these tips helpful, subscribe for more practical insights on consulting, proposals, and navigating opportunities successfully. Thank you for tuning in to the second episode on Consultancy Unlocked. I hope you find this session quite useful. Please share your experience in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share. I thank you for tuning in. All the best until the next episode. Bye.